What's up YouTube? How are you doing today? I'm Chana D, your Techno Dad, and in this video I'll be unboxing and setting up a turntable called the Orbit Basic by U-Turn Audio. And we're gonna get into it right after the jump. Alright everyone, so before we begin, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to U-Turn Audio for sending in this turntable for review. This is the Orbit Basic. Now there's a lot of parts to this, so let's get it all out and set it up. In the box we get a quick start guide that shows you all about the turntable and how to connect it. We get a power adapter, 6-foot pair of RCA cables, the belt, sticker, slip mat, platter, and lid. Now on the bottom of the turntable we have 3 rubber feet. Now what's really cool about these is that they kind of jiggle a little bit, which means it should keep the turntable flat no matter what surface you put it on. Next we have the location of the RCA connectors, and down here we have the motor and power supply. Alright, let's flip this thing over and get it assembled. On the front of the turntable on the left we have the on-off button. In the back left we have the pulley where we attach the belt. And on the right hand side we have the tone arm with the cartridge. So the first thing we're going to want to do is put on the platter. Now we need to get the belt to go around the pulley and the platter at the same time. So the easiest way to do this is to start with the band on the pulley and just kind of work your way around the platter, spinning the platter with one hand. The pulley has 2 grooves. The lower one is for 45 RPM records and the top groove is for 33 RPM records. After we get the belt around the platter, we place the slip mat on the platter, and then we're gonna take out this little twist tie that's holding the tone arm to its little rest. And to put on the lid, we just line up the grooves on the back of the lid and we're good to go. Now the Orbit Basic comes in at $179 and it is the cheapest in their lineup. It comes with an Audio-Technica CN5625AL cartridge. If you're a beginner, this is a great starting point, and the best part is you can upgrade these later on. Now we just have a couple of connections to do to get this up and running. On the left, we have our RCA connections. Next is the plug on the right-hand side for power. Now I pulled up the Denon X4400H just so you guys can see where I plug it in. I plug it into the phono input there, and since there is no ground cable, we do not need to ground the turntable. Very easy. Now all that's left is to put on your favorite vinyl, turn on the turntable, and gently lower the stylus onto the record. Now we're making music. Oh yeah. To move the belt from the 45 groove to the 33 groove, you're just going to use one finger, just gently pull off the 45 and place the belt in the 33 groove. It's very simple, very easy, and takes little time. So I guess the big question on your mind right now is, why did you choose this turntable, Techno Dad? Well, if you guys remember, I have the Technics SL1200GR in for review, but that thing's like $1,600 or $1,700, and a lot of you have been asking about a turntable under the $300 price point. So I took to Amazon and the internet and found U-Turn Audio. They have a bunch of different levels, and I think this Orbit Basic really just does the job for $179. Under 200 bucks. How can you go wrong? Now, I'm not a huge belt drive turntable guy. I really like direct drive turntables, and that's, from years and years of DJing with vinyl. But to keep costs low, and if you guys are just starting out, this is a great beginner turntable. One of the coolest parts about this turntable is going into the customize section and actually getting an Orbit Custom. This way you can actually change the colors and maybe change the plinth. And that's just a fancy word for bass. You can go with their normal plinth, or you can go with one of the wood plinths. You can change the needle and upgrade that if you like as well. I would strongly advise, for those of you that don't know, if you have a phono stage in your integrated amp or AV receiver or your Bluetooth speakers, I would definitely go with the built-in phono preamp as an option. Now this will bring the price of the turntable from $179 up to $249. This is a very handy upgrade and I highly recommend it for you beginners out there. So I'm gonna keep this turntable for a couple of months and play a bunch of different music on it and play them through a whole bunch of different speakers, which is really cool because I have a lot of them in-house right now. And I'm gonna give you my thoughts on how this sub $200 turntable performs. Now, once again, I think this is a great turntable for you beginners out there, people just getting into vinyl, not wanting to break the bank. And I think one of the best parts about this turntable is that you don't need to set up the needle. Whichever cartridge you get, they do that at the factory, so you don't have to mess around with that. It is a painstaking process. I actually made a video on how to set up a turntable, which I'll link down in the description and with the card up top as well. So if you go with the standard cartridge or an upgraded cartridge, they do all that setup for you, and that can take away a lot of headache and frustration from you beginners out there. All right, let's get into my first impressions about the Orbit Basic. So if you're new to vinyl and turntables and this is a little too much for you, the Orbit Basic is just right. I think that fits the bill for all the beginners out there just wanting to start collecting vinyl and get into the whole scene. Now it's more about buying the record and not going to your favorite track. You put the needle down on the first track and you let it play. Have a glass of wine, it's an experience, and share that experience with the one you love or some friends or whomever. Coming in under $200, U-Turn did a great job here, and I love the fact that you can customize it. I personally can't wait to listen to more music using the Orbit Basic, and for those of you out there that are looking to get into vinyl and turntables, definitely put this on your short list. Now, once again, I gotta thank U-Turn for sending this over for review. Thank you guys. And if you guys have any questions about this turntable or anything else, hit me up down below in the comments or on whichever social media platform you like to use the most. Well, that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys liked it, go ahead, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel using the button in the middle of your screen. Once again, my name is Chana D. I am your Techno Dad, and I'll see you next time.